Time now for Night Court. Texas's Attorney General is investigating whether or not San Antonio discriminated against Chick-Fil-A over the city's decision to ban the fast food chain from the airport. San Antonio City Council blocked Chick-Fil-A, citing, quote, a legacy of anti-LGBTQ behavior. So let's bring in tonight's legal eagles. Remember, you're the jury at home. White-collar crime and securities attorney Andrew Stoltmann and the Washington Times legal affairs reporter Alex Sawyer. Great to have both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay,
Thank
tonight,
you.
Alex, you are assigned to defend Chick-fil-A, and Andrew, you'll be defending the city of San Antonio. So I want to start by playing, this is Exhibit A. This is Greg Brockhouse. He's a city councilman who was not in favor of this vote. He thinks Chick-fil-A should be able to be in the airport.
That's a wrong issue. It's a bad precedent to set, and it was one of the worst decisions City Council's ever made. And as you've seen, it's become a national issue now, and it's embarrassing for us.
And Andrew, tonight, one of the guys who actually voted for this now says he wished he could take it back, and he got it wrong. What now?
Well, look, I mean, this entire thing, I think, is really, really silly. I mean, it's a taxpayer-financed airport. There is no absolute right for anybody to simply come in there and be able to put a business in there. Now, remember, there are very good business reasons why this company shouldn't be in there. 15% of all airport sales take place on Sundays, and Chick-fil-A is always closed on Sundays.
It's heartbreaking.
So, it's heartbreaking, but it's just one of those crazy things. They don't have an absolute right to be in that airport, period.
All right, Alex, this is Roberto Trevino. He's a San Antonio City Council member. He kind of led this whole effort to make sure Chick-fil-A was not in the airport. Here's what he says. Exhibit B.
Bottom line is removing discriminatory businesses, regardless of what protected class they are prejudiced against, is clearly under the purview of our NDO, and I stand by that.
Says Chick-fil-A is a discriminatory business, Alex.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that he cites the city's non-discrimination ordinance when that's supposed to protect certain groups of people, and that includes religion. And so one could argue that the city itself is violating its own ordinance by discriminating against Chick-fil-A based on the company's founders' faith. And, you know, Supreme Court precedent, I also think, would go to the company's side here, saying, we know that the Supreme Court has held a corporation does have some constitutional rights, including First Amendment. So I think that, you know, if Chick-fil-A wants to fight this, they could.
Okay, let's go to Exhibit C. This is Congressman Chip Roy. He's a Republican out of Texas. He says this: targeting individuals, organizations, or corporations for carrying out their deeply held religious beliefs in accord with our laws and consistent with many Americans' similarly held religious beliefs is hardly making San Antonio a champion of equality and inclusion. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's a good point, but in the same sense, I look at it and I say, what's the Texas Attorney General doing? You know, you have a state in Texas that had 1,200 murders last year, that had 7,500 rapes and 200,000 burglaries, and they're taking state resources to investigate San Antonio and whether San Antonio made a bad decision to let Chick-fil-A or not let them into the airport. It's silly, it's stupid, it's a waste of taxpayer money.
Well, it's not only that. He's also asked Secretary Chow, the transportation secretary, to look at this because airports fall under that purview, and they do get federal grant money. So there are questions about the Attorney General thinks whether there is discrimination based on the fact that they're getting federal money and making these decisions. But I want to read something else from the council member Roberto Trevino we had earlier. He said this: everyone has a place, Exhibit D, and everyone should feel welcome when they walk through our airport. I look forward to the announcement of a suitable replacement for Chick-fil-A. Alex, he says, everyone has to feel welcome in the airport. Some people, if they see Chick-fil-A, he thinks, may not.
Yeah, I think that most airports have several different outlets that people can go eat at. And so if someone's offended by Chick-fil-A, they could obviously go somewhere else. I'm sure there's, you know, McDonald's, Burger King's. I know Dunkin' Donuts. I see that often when I fly. So it's not the only choice. So I think that it's a weak argument. And unfortunately, I think we all just need to eat more Chick-fil-A. Once you taste it, you're sold.
All right, and people can always decide these things with their pocketbooks, but for now, they're not going to have this option in the San Antonio airport. They'll have to get their Chick-fil-A somewhere else. And don't forget, closed on Sundays. Andrew and Alex, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.